Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a very casual and fun one. This video is actually in collaboration with my friend here on YouTube, Heather Austin. Some of you may already know her, but recently Heather reached out to me and asked me if I would like to collab on a Sephora VIB. Do they even call it that anymore? What do they call this sale now? I think it's just called the holiday sale event, but that's beside the point. She asked me if I wanted to do a Sephora sale wish list video, and I thought, you know, this is a great idea because I'm on the fence on if and what I am going to buy during the Sephora sale. I know I typically like to buy some gift sets that I can give as gifts for Christmas time. I do have 3 sisters. I love gifting makeup for Christmas to my sisters, and this is a great time to get some of those things, but honestly, I really am just feeling the need to kind of slow things down more than anything because I have bought a lot of palettes recently, which I'm sure you guys have probably noticed if you've been watching my recent videos. I just want to be able to enjoy the things that I have, but I thought it'd be fun to share with you guys that some of the things that I may in fact end up picking up are just some things that I have my eye on, and also a couple of things that I kind of have on this wish list that I really probably will never actually buy. I hope that doesn't seem too all over the place for you guys, but I just thought we'd kind of put it all into one video, talk about things that Sephora offers that I kind of am interested in, whether or not I'm going to buy them. Very excited to see what Heather is going to feature in her video. I will list her channel and her video down below so you can go check out and see what she has on her wish list. But anyways, I hope that you guys are excited about this one. I would love to hear any things that you guys have on your wish list, whether you're planning to buy them or not. What's something that you really have your eye on that you would maybe love to be gifted? And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into my wish list. Alright, so I'm going to start off with one very boring thing that I actually am planning to pick up, and this is a skincare item. It's from The Ordinary. This is The Ordinary's hyaluronic acid. I've tried quite a few different hyaluronic acids over the last couple of years. It's one of my favorite skincare ingredients, and this is the one that I think I like the very most. When I use it the right way, it does a great job of keeping my skin hydrated all day long, which I think is especially necessary for me because I do have dry skin. I would say in the summertime it leans a little more normal, but in the wintertime it is extremely dry, and I definitely need all the moisture I can get. This is not a very expensive item. I have no trouble purchasing at full price, but if I can get 15% off, why not get it during the sale? So that's something that I will most certainly purchase during the sale. So now I want to move into some things that I really have my eye on. I'm not quite sure which of these, if any, I'm actually going to pick up. You guys have probably heard me talk about this first one a few times recently, but it is the Huda Beauty Nude Obsessions palettes. I just really love these palettes. I know these are palettes that I would really love. The thing that I think holds me back is the fact that I just have more eyeshadow palettes than I can possibly use right now. I have too many, and I do need to do a declutter, but I also hate to declutter things just so I can go out and buy more makeup. I know that this is a beauty channel on YouTube. That's kind of the name of the game, but there's something about that I'm struggling to like navigate how to do that in a way that feels not wasteful. I don't know. This is just something that I really am interested in, but I kind of feel like I don't need, so I'm not sure that I'm going to pick them up quite yet. If I did, the ones that I am interested in the most are the light and the rich version. Honestly, I think they're all beautiful, but those are the ones I think if I got 2, those are the 2 that I would probably get. They're $29 each. I actually think that's a really great price for their eyeshadow palettes because you get such a good variety in them. I mean, again, I haven't tried these specific ones yet, but the 4 other Huda Beauty mini Obsessions palettes that I have, I just really love the quality and just the versatility that those palettes give you. I've also heard a lot of good things from other people that have reviewed these. Some of you guys have tried them and left me some good feedback in my comment section, so they're definitely something that is on my wish list for sure. The next thing I have kind of at the top of my wish list is one of the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blushes. I've heard a lot of people starting to talk about these and having really good things to say about them. I've heard they're easy to use. They give you a beautiful natural look. I love blush. It's one of my favorite makeup products to buy. I certainly don't need more blushes in my collection, but I mean, let's just be perfectly honest here, guys. I don't need any of this stuff, but it's something I really have my eye on. If I was to get one of them, the 2 shades that I have the most interested in are one called Blurred Buff and one called Mauve Sunrise. The mauve one, I typically don't go for that shade, but as much as I wanted to pick like a peach shade, I have so many peach blushes. I definitely don't need more peach blushes, and I love the look of a deeper kind of mauve toned, rosy toned blush in the wintertime, especially as my skin gets fair. I just think there's something about a rosy kind of plum color blush in the wintertime that is just like the prettiest thing in the world. So the reason I'd probably pick that color, because it would be relatively unique to my collection. I don't own a lot of blushes in that color, but chances are if I ended up getting one of these, I probably would just get one. And I think the one I'll probably go with is the Blurred Buff, because that's the one specifically a lot of people have had really good things to say about. Let me know if any of you guys have tried them out, if you agree, if you think they're amazing, or if you think they're awful. Let me know and save me $29. The next thing on my wish list is one that has actually been on my wish list for quite a long time, and it is the Fenty Gloss Balm. I have been wanting to try out this for a very long time, but I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know. I have a hard time purchasing high-end lip products, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't seem to have a lot of trouble spending even more money on an eyeshadow palette. I mean, I can spend $40 on an eyeshadow palette. Not that it's not painful or thought out for me, it definitely is, but I cringe even more at spending like $15 to $20 on a lip product that is high end. And I think the main reason for that is that I know I have some really good lip products from the drugstore that I really love, and so it's just hard for me to justify spending that much. I'm curious about these because so many people seem to swear by these glosses. If I went for the full size gloss, I'm leaning towards getting the shade Fussy. Generally speaking, I think I like a more kind of pink tone gloss, but I'm also kind of interested in the original shade, the Fenty Glow shade, because I think it's supposed to be a universal shade that looks good on anyone. Let me know if you guys have tried either of those, if you tried the gloss formula. Those retail for $18, and one good thing, I actually don't think that's a terrible price because I have heard that there's actually a lot of product inside these glosses. I'm also considering, they have a holiday set from Fenty. It has 5 mini Fenty glosses in it, and there's quite a few different new shades in there as well. They look beautiful. I was looking at the swatches online. They all look lovely. I think this gloss formula is relatively sheer, so I think even the more dark shades would work on probably just about anyone. The reason I'm kind of leaning towards this one, even though it's $42, I mean, that's significantly more expensive than $18, but I love the idea of giving these as gifts, like to my sisters for Christmas time. And I think for 5 mini glosses, I think that's a pretty good price. But again, that's $42. And $42 in my cart is a lot more painful than $18 in my cart total. So we'll see what ends up happening there if I end up going for it. Let me know if you guys have tried them out, if you have any thoughts about their gloss formula. I've heard some of you say that you absolutely swear by it and love it, but yeah, let me know. For the next thing on my wish list, I was browsing through Sephora's website trying to find things to spend my money on because that just sounds like a wonderful idea. But as I was browsing, I noticed that the Bite Beauty Amuse, I can never say this word, Amuse Bouche, there we go, lipsticks were on sale for half price. So they have them on sale right now, the entire shade range for $13. I really want to pick up one of these, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have waited because I actually had a couple of shades written down, one of them being the shade Meringue. That shade is already sold out because the Sephora Rouge sale, I'm not Rouge status, I'm just a lowly VIB status. Anyways, it's out of stock now. So I'm quite certain that a lot of these will be gone by the time the November 7th rolls around when I can actually shop. Rouge members, how rude. So unfortunate because I am a huge fan of the Bite Beauty lipstick formula. I only have 2 of them in my collection. They're actually 2 somewhat unwearable shades that I don't wear very often. Well, I shouldn't say unwearable. They're just statement shades that aren't reds. And usually if I'm going to wear a statement lip, I'll usually do something like this, something like a bold red. But I love the formula so much. They are so comfortable. And I've been wanting to pick up a more nude shade of the Bite Beauty lipsticks for a really long time. I'm curious to know if the reason they're on sale is because they're discontinuing them. I know Bite Beauty has kind of reformulated and changed their lipstick line a couple of times over the last several years, but I'm very interested in these. I think $13 is a great price. If they still have them available, I am absolutely going to pick up probably a couple of shades of these. So I have one more thing before we move into the things that I'm very interested in, but I probably will not shell out the money for right now. And that one thing is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder. From the sounds of it, I've heard several people talk about this on and off over the last year or two. And I also read a lot of reviews on this thing and read the product description. It sounds a lot like what I think the Hourglass kind of finishing powder / highlighters are. But I do love a good multi-dimensional product. This one is $38, which is a little bit steep considering that basically this is like a luminous setting powder. You guys know that I am not super into powders, and it's certainly not a makeup product that I love to spend money on. But I do love highlighters, and if this could kind of double as a highlighter as well, I might consider spending $38 on it. So let me know if you guys have tried it, if you think it's as amazing, if it has that angelic quality that some people, well, one person said that it had. Let me know. All right, now let's move into the things that are on my wish list, and these are things that are on my pie in the sky kind of wish list, things that I probably will not be purchasing right now and may never purchase, but they're definitely things that I have my eye on and I'm very interested in. The first one is one that I may never end up picking up, and it is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. Natasha Denona palettes in general, I'm very interested in because I love the Sunrise palette. I really love the formula of that palette, and there's just something about the whole experience of using a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette that just feels really nice. That being said, I do not think that is a reason to go out and spend $129+ on an eyeshadow palette. The Metropolis palette is $129, but I do think the color story in this one is so lovely. I think there's so much variety in there, just the right amount of color, which you guys know I love a palette that has a lot of neutrals and a little bit of color sprinkled in there. I do think she has an amazing formula. I just think the difference between even like an ABH palette, the difference in quality doesn't justify to me the huge difference in price. Even though I do think there might be a little bit of a higher quality there, it's not that significant. And so I can't really justify spending that on an eyeshadow palette. As much as I love eyeshadow, I can't do it, and I may never be able to do it, and honestly, I'm probably okay with that because I have plenty of eyeshadow palettes already to play with. Don't need any more right now, but it's one that if someone said, hey, let me make your wish come true, money's not an option, that's probably the one that I would wish for. Also in this category, I put a couple of foundations. Now these, I don't think I have any intentions of purchasing a foundation right now. My foundation drawer, it is full right now, and I don't need a new foundation right now. I feel like I need to work through some of the foundations that I have. I feel like I found my Holy Grail foundation and it's only $12 to $14, so I just don't feel like I need to spend $30, $40, $50, $60 on a foundation, but there are a couple that have me a little bit interested. The first one being the Luminous Silk foundation. People have been talking about this foundation forever. I mean forever. I remember watching YouTube back in like 2009 and hearing people talk about it back then. I just feel like as a makeup lover, I would love to try this foundation at one point in my life. It may not even work for me. I haven't even really read reviews on it. I've just heard about it for years, and I feel this strange need to try this at some point. Let me know if you guys have tried it out, especially if you have dry skin, if it worked for you. It is $64, and with that price, I'm not sure I'll ever be able to hit the buy button, but I'm very curious about that one. Another one I have my eye on is the Fenty Hydrating Foundation. I forget the full name of this one. I didn't write it down, but this one's only $35, which I think is a pretty good price for a higher end foundation. I've heard a lot of people say they love this foundation, but I have heard a few people say they absolutely did not like it. And I feel like that is always the case with foundations, and that is always the reason I have such a hard time making the splurge for a high-end foundation. I know you can return foundations that don't work for you, but sometimes it takes me a long time to figure out if a foundation, if I like it or not. And so, I don't know, I'm just on the fence about that one as well, but it's one I definitely am kind of interested in. Maybe once I get through some of my foundations that I have currently, maybe I'll consider one of those two. So I have just two more things on my wish list, and again, these are things that I probably will not end up picking up for reasons which I will explain. First off, the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipsticks. These ones for some reason really attracted me, and I mean there's so many companies that have come out with nude lipstick lines or collections, and again, I am someone that typically likes to buy my lipsticks at the drugstore. I have a lot of great nudes that I really love from the drugstore. But I don't know, guys, there's just something about Natasha Denona. Maybe it's because I follow her on Instagram. Maybe that's the problem. I need to stop following her on Instagram because she makes everything look like you need it because she's just so amazing at what she does. But I love her aesthetic, and I think that kind of draws me in. But I recently have seen a couple of duping style videos with these lipsticks. I've also heard a couple people say that they're actually not super creamy, and I really like my lipsticks. The more I try things out and the older I get and the more I kind of feel like I'm getting in my groove of and finding what I really, really like, I like my lipsticks to be very creamy. So I have a feeling these might not be one that I will like that much. At least I tell myself that. They're $25 a piece, which again is pretty expensive for a high-end lipstick. I mean, I think it's not terrible for Natasha Denona considering that she's selling eyeshadow palettes for $120 to what, $230. But I'm kind of leaning away from that, although that magnetic closure, that looks very satisfying. I don't think I have a lipstick in my collection that has a magnetic closure. There's a part of me that feels like having a magnetic closure lipstick would make me feel like I made it in life, but I know that that's not true. The very last thing I have on my wish list, again, this is something that I don't think I'm going to buy. I definitely don't have much trouble talking myself out of this one because of the price, and it is the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Pot. I forgot the official name of them. I just wrote down Hourglass Scattered Light in the color Reflect, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. They're basically potted glittery cream eyeshadows that a lot of people have said are absolutely stunning, very reflective, and I have no doubt that they are, but they are $29, and that is very expensive. I could get one of the entire Huda Beauty Nude Obsessions palettes for that same price, and I definitely would rather go for the Nude Obsessions palette than one individual eyeshadow. So that's the reason I'm going to pass on that one. But let me know if you guys have tried them out, if you really think they are like the ultimate shimmery formula, if they are life-changing. Let me know in the comments down below, because perhaps one day I'll be in a situation where I can buy one of these, but I don't know. I don't know that that's ever true, because I kind of feel like no matter how much money you make, if you are cheap in your core, you can't really change that. I mean, let's just be real. I grew up frugal. That's part of how I am. My grandmother, I watched her wash styrofoam plates after dinner. That's the blood that is coursing through my veins. And that is why I cannot spend $129 on an eyeshadow palette or $29 on an individual eyeshadow pot. All right, you guys, and that is it for my Sephora Holiday Bonus Sale wish list. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to know from you guys whether it's something you would purchase yourself or not. If someone was to offer to give you one product from Sephora, any price, cost is not a factor, what would that one product be? I would love to hear your response to that in the comments down below. Big thank you again to Heather for collaborating with me on this. Be sure to head over to her channel and check out what is on her wish list. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you guys all have a great day. Those of you that are new, special welcome. I hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel if you have not done that yet, and make sure you hit the notification bell if you would like to be notified every time I upload. And that is it. Thank you guys again. I will see all of you very soon in my next video. Bye. Sephora Holiday Sale Event. I really should have looked up the name of the sale before I filmed this video, but hopefully you guys forgive me for that. I do have a phone right here. I'm just lazy. Uptone blush in the winter tone. That's what holds me back. Styrofoam plates, which we all know you shouldn't use. They're bad for the environment, but good for my grandma for washing and reusing them. Let's give her that.